episode is called Tales from the Rift. Wonderful reference to Tales from the Crypt. Another episode I love. Spoilers for everything Evil Dead leading up to and including this episode. This episode is rated TVMA, so this video be. Let's dive right in. So, yeah. I think I will start with just Kelly confronting Ruby was a lot of fun. I always love seeing her, both of them get to be badasses. Let's see, yeah, I liked this thing of Kelly firing the shotgun over and over, very reminiscent of like Sarah Connor. Which we also have when she shoots the head and the face grows back like the T-1000. On the commentary track, which I listened to most of, I think it's Ray Santiago, who plays Pablo, points out the which I can't believe I didn't clock myself, the death becomes her vibe of Ruby's broken body after the grenade. Let's see. Yeah. You got a real, like, what's it called? Wonderful Ladies of Wrestling vibe off the fight. A lot of dirty fighting. Let's see. And I think that might be about what I have to say about the fight itself. On one of the commentary tracks for an earlier episode of this season, one of the writers talks about that originally Kelly was not going to be in this season from the very start. There were supposed to be some episodes, let's see. I think she was supposed to appear in the episodes, but not in Elk Grove. Like, she was off on her own, forging her own path and shit, as she would put it. And after several episodes, she was to return. And I can kind of see how the episodes, like, because, Dalton could have popped up and proven, Kelly found me and sent me, and she's off on her own, and have him say something to Ash. Something Kelly would say to Ash, and Dalton's super uncomfortable about saying it, so he's like barely getting the words out and super uncomfortable about saying this to the prophesied one, something like that. And then maybe this would have been so yeah, now we're getting to my theory. I can imagine this might have been the first time, or maybe she would have popped up at the end of the episode before this one and said, I'm going after Ruby. And Data De Lorenzo, who plays Kelly, herself said pointed out on the commentary track for the episode before this one, finally Kelly gets some agency, and then we see here she makes this rather massive mistake. But we're a progressive channel. We support women's rights and women's wrongs. Women are entitled to make mistakes. And I will say, I was very relieved when I realized, Ruby's going to put Kaya in Kelly's body. I really don't want to, it's difficult enough that this show is, there's only, 4 episodes left. I'm really going to miss, the entire cast. But, yeah, Dana De Lorenzo, fantastic on the show. And, yeah, I look forward to seeing her play evil in the next episodes, because we already know she does that incredibly well. She really hit it out the park as a Deadite in season 1. Yeah, the hand grenade was a cool thing, and we see the legs, fantastic. So yeah, both the practical effects of these limbs and them move. You've got the hand like crawling over, similar to Ash's hand in the second movie and some episodes also of the show, and also just the Foley work. It sounds so nasty. It's just wonderful, fantastic job on that. Let's see. I think that is... Yeah, I'll just briefly finish off on the whole Kaya in Kelly's body. Kalaya, at the end of the episode, Kalaya shows up, and yeah, at first it looks like, oh, she's gonna like stab Ash right there, but no, she like hands him the knife and say, found it, and yeah, so she's in perfect position. Ash trusts her. She's in perfect position to turn Brandy against Ash, as Ruby said. Let's see. And it is also very clever because, yeah, they never said in the earlier episode that Kaya could only come through the portal, the rift, at the rift. No, once you've opened the rift, spirits can come through. Yeah, that's... I 100% accept that as part of the lore. It doesn't contradict anything. Let's see. I think that might be what I have to say for that. So yeah, I really, really liked. So we have the Ash has apparently never had toasted Pop-Tarts. Like, I'm not American. I've visited America. I don't remember encountering a Pop-Tart face to face. I've only seen them in movies. Even I know you're supposed to toast them. Like, who eats Pop-Tarts without toasting? And she's the best cook this house has ever had. I don't think I want to know what kind of cooking. So I'm not surprised that Ash is a terrible cook, or even necessarily Brock. I guess Cheryl and Ash's mother were also terrible cooks, which again, that's... I don't think every woman has to be an amazing cook, but that is still like, holy crap. And he wasn't even saying that to make Brandy feel better, because she wasn't in the room. She couldn't hear him say that. I will say I did think when the nights, what is that, like 4 nights in one episode? That's like half a week. Although I guess you'd also need the days of Samaria. Anyway, when they showed up, when we just hear knocking on the door, my first thought was, Ash, you motherfucker. The sheriff knows where you live, but I suppose it would have been a little quick for her to get to a car and drive there, since they just got out of their own car, if I recall, in this episode. Anyway, when they hear the knock, but yeah, let's see. For now, the sheriff of Elk Grove remains, unfired, like, much like Chekhov's gun, Elk Grove's sheriff. Let's see. But yeah, best cook the house has ever seen. Of all the things he could brand Brandy, that is a pretty positive thing. Yeah, really, really cool once they get into the basement, which they talk about in the commentary track. Apparently everyone who went down there got the flu, so yeah, that really sucks. Filming is already, a trial, even when no one is sick. Was the reason that they said the names of the various... Like, they just barely said the names of the... on the commentary track, they should straight up call them red shirts. The Knights of Samaria who end up, possessed and dead in this episode. Was that so that they could, like, be, so that next time the actors have to get a job, they can be like, well, I was in Season 3, Episode 6 of Ash vs. Evil Dead. You may remember me as playing the character, because, like, let's see. When one of them's like, I'll go through, and Zoe's like, good thinking, Marcus, and then he comes back, and I think that, then he attacks one, and Zoe's like, Peter, no! I forget when they say Gary's name, but that's also one of the, yeah, that was, I don't know, that was amusing to me. I am really glad Zoe's still around. I look forward to seeing more of her character. Let's see, yeah, love the John Carpenter's The Thing vibe. To, you know, not the first time Sam Raimi has referenced John Carpenter's works, you know, in on this very show. And the, you know, there was also the Christine thing when the Delta was possessed in season 2. But yeah, you know, this thing of there, it's basically a human body, but there's stuff that's just off. You know, it has multiple heads. You know, they do say 2 heads is better than 1, which I guess is why he's so formidable. Yeah, some great stuff with the fighting. You know, the Ash, you know, shooting some and getting knocked down, and, you know, going to Pablo. Am I the only one fighting this guy? You know, Pablo getting... In Pablo's defense, like, if he had started shooting before you got knocked down, he might have hit you, but yeah. Yeah, Pablo gets some shots off, and the thing with the chainsaw, you know, he attacks, and then he gets knocked and is, like, hanging in the wooden... Yeah, and you know, Ash manages to get it and attacks. Let's see. I think that might more or less... Poor Brandy getting absolutely nothing to do other than make Pop-Tarts in this episode. I hope... I think she will get more cool stuff to do. And I do appreciate, you know, them not bringing her into danger. Yeah, I like the father-daughter bonding. That was great. And you know, before the knock and you know, Ash, like, crushes up the... Or wait, no, that's before he crushed, but when he spills beer all over his face. You know, there's this, like, brief moment of Ash, like, being... I have a great daughter. You know, that was very sweet. You know, with facial acting, the conveying that. But yeah, you know, this thing of... You know, yeah, she's been distraught in episodes leading up to this, but now she's, like, high on adrenaline. So, you know, she's like, oh, I can't believe I'm hiding for the cops. Fuck the you know, cramming for the midterms. This is so much more fun, you know. And Ash's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't turn on the light. And she's like, oh, someone's hidden from the cops before. And he, you know, he pleads the fifth, which, yeah, I think there's a lot of parents who's like, you know what, this isn't about me right now. I do not want you to do the things, you know, that I did when I was your age. Let's see. But yeah, you know, he didn't even leave a fucking post-it note. He just leaves, you know, and yeah, she's like, I can't find him anywhere. And Pablo's like, are we out of beer? No, that's why I'm worried, you know. She's not even like, Pablo, he would not leave me without a word just because we're out of beer. No, she's like, no, I checked. We're not out of beer. I promise. That was my first thought too, obviously. Let's see. I think that might cover... oh, right, yeah. Love how nasty all the like big pussy wart shit on the body of of possessed Marcus. That was really great. Let's see. Right, I like how, you know, Pablo goes up to it and suddenly he's like sticking to it and he's reading it. I don't know what came over me, and then they're like, well, you better open it again. Okay, you know, and puts it back on. Just, yeah, that was pretty funny. And Ash being like, you know what, I really don't want to go back to Army of Darkness. It didn't make enough money and people lost interest in the franchise for way too long, which really does suck, seriously. I think that might be what I had. Now, let's see, yeah, so IMDb trivia, oh, that's right, yeah, it's Rob Tabbert who says, you know, the Knights of Samaria, or the Red Shirts, are coming back. You know what, I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah, it is, like, Zoe's the only Knight of Samaria we've met who hasn't been a bit of a red shirt. That's, yeah. Yeah, and someone pointed out, at 12:18, the video clip is from Evil Dead 2. And yeah, someone else, of course, pointed out the episode's title being an homage to Tales from the Crypt, which there's some very clear inspiration. Well, let's see. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain there was a show of Tales of the Crypt before the Evil Dead movies, but I'm fairly confident the EC comics were already EC. I feel like they were called EC. It's been a long time since I looked at this stuff, but I'm pretty sure some of the comics, which, by the way, one of my favorite parts of Demon Knight, the first of the Tales of the Crypt movies. Really sucks that the second one didn't do well. I would have loved more of them. Like, if they'd been pumping those out for like a long time, that would have been amazing. Like, the two movies we got are already distinctly different from each other, even though the tone is obviously very similar. But yeah, the meta bit in Demon Knight where like the actual comic is yeah. Did that happen more than once in that movie? Maybe that did happen. I gotta watch that movie again. I'm just looking for a copy, honestly. I would love to watch that movie again. I watched it like 20 times, and I don't know, a couple of months maybe, back when I had it on VHS, but, yeah. If I had it on DVD, I'd still be watching it. I feel like there's something in this episode that I wanted to talk about that I didn't. Yeah, I like Ash's crack about, do you guys get, was it like, what's it called? Do you guys get discount on knee pads or something like that? Which, yeah. Yeah, and I like how these nights, every night of Samaria is like worshipping the ground Ash walks on. The thing about, I really don't want to go through the rift. Yeah, I mean, you realize you only have one prophesied one, so that, the book, yes. It sure is a good thing I still have the book, which I definitely do. What? I said hypothetically, just, yeah, that was when he did a spit take. He really cannot hold his liquor in this episode. I feel like there's one more thing. Right, yeah, so we saw that Pablo now gets like premonitions when Ash is in trouble or something, which in the commentary track they say, I don't know about that. We just needed some way to get Pablo into the basement, I think that might be right. Ash calls the demon Siamese, which, like, I think it's supposed to be that thing of, like, today the term we use is conjoint twin, but this, because a body with multiple heads. Because it's not that he doesn't know the word Sumerian, because he used it early in the episode. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking he was making the edgy joke. Let's see. I think that might be about. The show is somewhat similar to Scream Queens. They were trying to find, go right up against the edge. They know they can't, like, say the N-word or that sort of thing. They can't go quite that far, but yeah, this is the sort of thing they felt they could get away with. I don't know any conjoint twins. I don't feel qualified to speak on it. Obviously, it's fucked up if it is, if that is still a very hurtful thing to say. Let's see. I feel like there's one more. Right, yeah, I appreciated, we see Pablo start to embrace the role of La Brujo Especial with, he opens the box and looks at some of, his Uncle Brujo's stuff. And let's see. Yeah, I felt like that was a good. I don't think we need to do a thing of like, oh, am I really the right person for the? No, like let's just go, you know, whole hog on him being that. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, right, now I remember. Yeah, yeah. You know, at the start of the episode, I really appreciate that each time we see the little, I guess it's not a demon toddler anymore. Ruby's ash spawn. Let's go with that. Each time we see it, you know, we saw it be born, and it looked like a newborn baby, and then we saw it as a toddler. You know, I don't know, hours, maybe days later. You know, and now it's clearly a larger, you know, I don't know, teenager, fully grown adult kind of thing. Yeah, you know, basically like Ruby's ash spawn is growing at an exponential rate. Like it's like transphobia in recent years, which is appropriate because in both cases it's an evil white person feeding innocent people to it. Yeah, I think that's all that I have to say about this one. Yeah, just another amazing episode. I'm really looking forward to seeing the next form of Ruby's ash spawn and getting more of Kaya in Kelly's body. You know, we know a little bit about her, but not, yeah, not a huge amount yet. Yeah, you know, this thing of the more knights showing up. You know, Sumerian nights, not Sumerian days. And now you got that stuck in your head, don't you? You're welcome. Yeah, yes, crap. Yes, the fact that, you know, more showed up and they explain, you know, Dalton went ahead, but we've lost contact with him. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, if they are of a group, and they appear to be, you know, Dalton's not just gonna go on his own and not, you know, he's gonna tell them, and you can understand why, like, you know, basically he thought that together they would be enough, and then, you know, when they don't hear from him, instead of just one person going to see him, they assume, you know, something must have gone wrong, so now 4 of them show up, you know. Yeah, I think that is, oh right, yeah. This'll close out the video. Coming in here, guns blazing, wielding the dagger to take me on by yourself. It's not a bad plan. It's a terrible plan.